What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ways of the Sith. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on X and Instagram at Ways of the Sith. So back with more Star Wars Black Series figures. I did a separate review for R5 and filmed it already. That's why he's already out of the package. But I'm just going to include him in this and review all of them in one shot to make it a lot easier. The R5 is pretty simple, pretty much the same as the new R2D2 that just came out. Does include some new attachments, which is a nice little thing. You can kind of swap out some of the ones with R2. I really like the upgrade on the new astromech. I think it scales a lot better. It looks a lot better on the shelf. So definitely a fan of that. But I also picked up the new Baylan, Mando, and the Fleet Commander from Mandalorian. So let's get these open and let's take a look. So might as well start off with R5 since I already have him out and pretty much already done. So like I said, he opens up the same as the R2D2. Has the open panels with the slots here that you can plug the different, attachments into. Also has the same thing at the top where the top pieces come off and you can plug in, some antennas there. He also came with what I think is another eyelet, I guess just in case one of these go, or maybe to swap out one. I'm not sure if that changed over the course of Mando and his original appearance, so maybe that's what it is, so you could swap out one of the eyelets to make it one or the other. I wasn't exactly sure about that piece. I was kind of looking at it a bunch of times, like, what is this and what's it for? But I really am a fan of these new astromechs. I know some people were talking about Chopper and like how he should have been redone now because this is redone, but Chopper was already in scale. That's why he was much bigger than like the previous R2 and R5. So I don't think he needs to be redone. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I think he scales pretty well with these new droids. I'm assuming we'll probably get Hondo's droid redone too at some point. I don't know how they're going to do that though, because I know they don't want to clog up pegs with that again sitting around. At least R2 and R5 were sought after ones. If you don't want to pick up the single release, I would wait for the release with the pit droids. There's supposed to be a pack coming with a different R5 and the pit droids. So that might be a better one. I'm hoping Pelimoto is included in that set, but we shall see for when it actually gets released. Alright, so here's our look at the Mandalorian Fleet Commander, and I know this is going to piss some people off because he is on the new body. So, we got the random guy who only showed up in, I think, maybe one scene. I'm assuming he was supposed to have more stuff in Season 3, and they cut him. He's probably got an actual name, too, other than just Mandalorian Fleet Commander. But he's on the new body, and Pre Vizsla, who from Clone Wars is on that god-awful Jango Fett body. So explain that to me. You really can't. You really can't with this Star Wars team for some of the stuff. But he looks really cool. I really am impressed with this. Just for, being a random guy that literally is in one shot of the show. Like, he's not even one of the main Mandos in the show, and he got a figure. So kudos to this guy. But the face sculpt looks good. The armor looks great because, again, this is that new Mando body with just the rubber overlays. So they can use this for really any Mando. That's why I didn't understand why Pre Vizsla was on that old buck. But this is cool. He comes literally with the same jetpack as Pre Vizsla too. So I mean, like, no excuse why Pre Vizsla was not on this body. None whatsoever. But the helmet is a little loose, kind of like the Sabine Wren. It's a little wobbly on there. So yeah, I like the fact that the helmets are removable and you don't have to swap out a full head. I know TVC people, that's like one of the things they really like is they want swappable heads instead of helmets. For Black Series, I would like it to keep this way. I understand, though, this issue of, like, obviously, this bouncing around and not looking right on the figure. So you kind of got to pose them and then put them on your shelf the way you want them. So the helmet doesn't roll around like this. But, yeah, I prefer being able to take them off. Same thing with the clones. I prefer to have a regular clone head underneath the clone. This way, it's up to me how I want to display it. You know what I mean? But overall, Fleet Commander's cool. My guess is you'll really be able to find him on clearance. All right, next up, let's take a look at Baylan Skoll and his lightsaber that is twice the size of him. I really don't know what this team was thinking with this release. So the head sculpt isn't horrible. The armor looks good. The sculpting on all of that looks good. But why? Why? Like, when I say it's almost as tall as him, it's almost as tall as him. And we know this Baylan has short little thighs for whatever reason. I don't know what they were thinking when they were doing this, really, honestly. It looks good, but needs those tweaks, needs that leg fix, because this is way, way too tiny. Like, I'll even bring the Mandalorian trooper in, and he's bigger than Baylan. So, like, yeah, I don't know who was responsible for this or who thought this was a good idea, but yeah. So I will probably just end up doing a separate video to show you how to fix Baylan. If you watch my Shin review, it's the same technique. I'm going to have to find legs that work with this. That's going to be the problem. I have a lot of like fodder Star Wars figures, but a lot of the male bodies have the older legs, so they're harder to change out with this. What I did see going around, though, is I saw a couple people use the legs from Malgus. Since Malgus is so big, the thigh pieces really work great on this, and you really, like, take Baylan up in height, which is what you really need. Let me see with those Shin parts real quick. So these are the thigh pieces from Shin, and we'll see how they measure up with Baylan's, and I don't think they're bigger than Baylan's. Where's that cut? Oh yeah, because there's no cut on these legs because of the new thing. So yeah, this piece unfortunately is not going to work from Shin because they're about the same length. So the Malgus legs probably are your best bet. I know that's a pricey figure to tear up to try to fix another one with. So I'm in the same debate. I'm going to kind of hunt around and see what I can find to try to swap them out. And I will do a tutorial on it to show you the process. Overall, I'm very happy to get this character in the line. I'm just not really happy with the figure at all. That lightsaber blade is ridiculous. And the fact of how short he is really, really bad. I understand certain things to try to get the production out on time for the show, but like, come on. Those were things that should have been a given. Like, Ray Stevenson's a big man, always has been, so it's not like new information. Yeah, just very disappointed with this Baylan. Hopefully I'll be able to fix him though with either the Malgus parts or finding a different pair of legs. And last but not least, we got the new Mandalorian, and this is really cool. I gotta say, so from the promo pictures, I knew it was the rubber overlay. I knew they made a couple tweaks on the figure, but this is actually like the perfect version of Mando. So if you were looking for one to add to your shelf, this would probably be the one. I might even replace pick up another one of these and replace the one that's in one of my displays. So my plan was to put this one with Bo-Katan and then keep my other Mando in the Mando cabin display. But I may do some tweaking with this, throw my wired cape on here and the unmasked head, and you know, kind of mash up my own din. But this is awesome. I love the fact that the vibro blade slides in the boot on the side there. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. He should have came with the vibro blade since season 1 once they saw that, but they never made that adjustment until now. It took long enough, but we finally got the soft goods cape, and it looks good. I have a wired soft goods cape that I bought from Josh Custom Capes on Etsy, so that's more than likely like the one I'll be putting on here, but it looks a lot better. The fact that the jetpack is actually painted this time, I really like this a lot. And then for those of you that did pick up the 3-pack from Amazon, they did keep the extra port on the top here. So if you have the Amazon 3-pack or 2-pack, 2.5-pack, I guess you could say, that came with the spear, you can plug that piece into the back here, and have the spear holder. And the way they did this jetpack and the way it sits, you have enough space to still have that spear tucked in with the jetpack. I don't know why this didn't come with the spear. It should have, especially since this is supposed to be Book of Boba Fett. So he should have still had the spear. But it would have been a nice little touch to include that, simply because we haven't gotten it on a regular release. But I'm really happy with this Mando. I think this is really, really awesome and a huge upgrade. Still not really sure why they pipelined another Mando that reverted back. It's on this body, but it reverted back to the hard goods cape. It makes no sense to me. This is the one you want to grab, especially if you don't have a Mando. If you want to compare it to Figure Arts or Mafex, this is like just as good in my opinion. This is really like the best Mando and the definitive Mando. So if you're looking for one or want to update yours, definitely pick this up. I really like this a lot, and you have that maneuverability on the arms now, so it's really a huge upgrade. Yeah, with both the Mandos next to Baylan, this is embarrassing how small that figure is. But overall, I really recommend picking up the Mando. I think that's awesome. I absolutely love it. I really think it's perfect, honestly, and like compares to the Figure Arts and the Mafex versions of it. The Mandalorian Commando, really awesome. R5, like I said, perfect upgrade, especially to replace him, or if you weren't able to get the previous one, because he was quite hard to come by. But Baylan, really, man, they botched this bad. I almost hope that like they redo him and release another version of him down the line, because like they need to. I doubt they will, but man, they need to fix this, because this is bad. And well, I need to fix this because I can't even put him on my shelf standing like this. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to use those Malgus legs to fix him, and he'll take priority over having a Malgus. I don't even really have the Old Republic stuff in a display. They're just kind of on a shelf because I don't really have a dio set up for them. So that might be the way I go. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. And thank you so much for taking time to check out the video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, may the Force be with you. This is The Ways.
We would be honored if you would join us.